So as you're watching this, about an hour and a half ago, I finished my final exam ever at university. So I'm all done at university now, and there's only one thing that's important in my life right now, and that is winning absolutely everything we possibly can with Real Oviedo. Hello and welcome back to The Real Deal. Today we have got two games for you, Seville B and Lorca coming up in the Segunda Division. Since you were last here, things have been going pretty well, I've got to say. Things have really turned around, which is good to say. I'm pleased to report, look at that form, that is fantastic. Loads of wins and the odd draw in there as well, but no losses importantly. So last time out we lost to Zaragoza and Gijón. We said at the time, although we lost, we put in some decent performances against the first and second top team in the league, and we thought, well, maybe we haven't won, but at least we've played well, maybe we can continue that into the next few games. And we have done. We played Barcelona B, won 4-1 there. Barcelona B sitting bottom of the table. So they were easy pickings, really, I've got to say. But it was good for us to finally get a few goals in the back of the net. Score a couple of them. Pucko got one, Salbaron got two, and David Rocha got another one as well, which is pretty good. Next up was Albacete away from home. A decent side, but we managed to overcome them. Aaron and Salbaron getting the quick-fire goals in the 29th and 30th minute, which was pretty good. We then came up against Valladolid, a team that they played in pre-season, drew them in pre-season, but again, another goal from Salbaron, and then Asa Gomez this time getting a goal in injury time to make sure we won that one 2-0 as well. We got pretty lucky in the Cadiz game. An own goal from one of their players meant that we won that 1-0, so that was good going, and that was it until the winter break. We played Real Madrid B in the winter break in a friendly match, and we drew 1-1 there, but it wasn't really that important. We followed up though after the winter break. Rayo Vallecano was the first side up, and they put up a decent fight, I've got to say, but a 2-1 win there. And a lot of these games were quite tight. We just had a bit of a more solid defence and some decent attacking. This was a prime example of it. You know, we had some solid defence apart from the goal we scored, but other than that, we had some decent attacks and could really get forward and do well. And then last time out, after losing to them earlier on in the season, the first game of the season, Cordoba, we drew 1-1 with them. Cordoba, I think is how you say it. A lot of people said I was very wrong in saying how I pronounced Cordoba in that first episode back there. I think I did say it. Well, I did say it pretty wrong. Obviously, you heard me. So I think Cordoba is perhaps the more correct way to say it. But we drew 1-1 with them. So that was the only win we didn't get in the league, at least. But we had some decent results, and hopefully we continue that with Sevilla B and Lorca today. So as for the table, that does change the entire dynamic. We now sit mid-table, so just in the top half, which is what the board wanted to get this season. They want top half finish. So we're in there now on 30 points, 3 points ahead of Granada, who are just behind as well, but crucially 9 points clear of that relegation zone. At one point we were like 13th or so, and we were only like 2 points above the relegation zone, so it was still pretty tight. It has started to stretch out in the past few games. Obviously we're a long way off. Actually, I say they're only 5 points off the playoffs right now, which isn't too bad, but I want to go with the board. We want top half. I'm not too bothered about getting promoted this season, especially as we want to focus on youth development. As I said in that first episode, I'd rather get a good youth intake, start to develop those players in the second division before going up again and things like that. I want to go up when we're ready with some decent youth players. So I'm not too fussed about playoffs or automatic this season, just as long as we meet the board's expectations of top half. That's what matters to me. We do have a few key injuries that I've picked up over the past few weeks. Pucko is a bad one to lose, obviously, on the right-hand side, and so is Salbaron. So we've got no right winger, really. They should be back in, well, relatively soon. 8 days to 2 weeks and 2 to 4 weeks for these two. So it shouldn't be too bad. And Christian Fernandez also out for 2 to 5 weeks at the moment, centre-back wise. So he's been our star centre-back, I think, this season. He's been the best. So we're going to miss him a little bit in the next few games. Salbaron has played up front a lot recently on the grounds that Tochi is injured. He's just come back from injury, actually. I think he might start this game. But he's been very good up front for us, scoring quite a few goals, so we will miss him. Now, it is January. The January transfer window is upon us. Contracts end at the end of the season, and already Heedy and Mariga have agreed deals with other clubs. They just offered contracts. In fact, no, I sold Heedy. He's going for 100k to another team in a few days' time. Mariga did agree a contract with Verona, so he believed at the end of the season, but I don't think we're going to miss him too much. I don't want to show you too much of the ins, because there are a few transfers we've agreed already for like next season when contracts end, so I don't want to show you them just yet. But we are in the process of getting Anthony Lozano on loan. He should come at some point this episode. I did want him desperately for this game. However, he's not come, and we're going to have to use a little bit more of a makeshift attack for this game because he's not around, and obviously Salbaron and Pucko are injured. So this guy should come on loan. If he does, we'll look at a bit more in depth. But he's got some good stats for this league. He's 4-star credibility, which is decent. It's what we need on loan from Barcelona, for example. So if he does come to us on loan for the rest of the season, I think we could really make a bit of a push towards the playoffs. So this then is the side we're going to be using today against Seville B. A usual goalkeeper, Juan Carlos. A back four of Varela, Carlos Hernandez, Valentini and Katungo. We've got the usual midfield. Falling as that ball midfielder. Fulcher's in there as well, and Rocha also there as well. In the absence of a proper right winger, Johannesson has moved up to that right wing spot. He can kind of play there. I think he'll be pretty decent there for a few games while we sort things out. Aaron on the left-hand side has been pretty decent recently, and Tocci is going to make his first start in months after coming back from injury. Could be a little bit risky as he's got no match sharpness and things like that, but he has to get back into the team basically, and he's a decent player as well, so we do need him and need to use him this season. And so kickoff is upon us here today. We're in Seville playing this game, but hopefully we should be pretty good playing away from home today. They've got the first chance actually. A free kick comes in and they do manage to get it in the back of the net 1 minute 40 seconds into the game, and obviously not the best start, but we've been pretty good recently, so I have got the confidence that we're going to come back into this. Now, part of the reason that we are doing so well recently is because of you guys, essentially. Some of you guys in the comments giving me a little bit of tactical advice out there, saying that perhaps we need to just go back to a bit more of a structured shape because the players aren't that good to be. I've tried to do a bit more fluid stuff, but essentially the players that we have probably don't really suit that fluid style, probably not good enough to be so fluid in their positions and things like that. So someone's like, oh, just go a bit more structured. And it has worked, to be fair. Obviously, we've not lost the game since you were last here. It could change right now because we are losing to Seville B and we've not had a shot on target yet, which is a bit worrying. But thanks to... Oh, Katungo's been sent off. I mean, that is a blow. Instant red card 20 minutes into the game. That's going to make things very, very hard. We can move Flynn to right back and then him and Valentini can swap over. That's probably the best thing to do there. Be without the central defensive midfielder. Bit of an uphill battle now for the rest of this game because of that. I think, though, we can get back in. I mean, it must have been a bad foul. I didn't read the commentary, so he's probably gone on with 2 feet or something like that to get an instant red card. We'll see what the report says after the game, but he's not done us any favours there, has Katungo. First half's been pretty quick, actually. 45th minute now, but they've got a highlight coming towards them as they work the ball into the area, put the ball high and wide, though, so it's not too much to worry about. But we've not really been that productive this first half. Obviously, for lack of midfield now, we've only got 2 midfielders, really. Perhaps we may have to bring Aaron and Johannesson back a little bit into that central midfield, so it's more like a 4-4-1, but we'll worry about that later on. Been a pretty quiet second half so far, which I'm not a big fan of, if I'm honest with you. I think what we might do is change for Diamond, but not have a CDM player in there. I feel like that is maybe a better way to go, to try and get a few more balls forward. So Tocci has got to go up there alongside with Aaron. Johannesson can go to right back, actually. We'll take Valentini off. And it means we're going to have to bring on Dylan. I think Dylan's had to play in that attacking midfield position there. So I think that is maybe the better way to go for this rest of the second half. I feel like we're a bit all over the place up front. We've not really got many options. I think if we stick to more of a central attack now on the grounds that we're down a man, so we have to try and play to some strength here. So if we launch our attacks down the middle of the pitch instead, maybe we'll pick up a few more chances. Despite me predicting all of that, this is the first highlight that's actually come to us. Hopefully it'll be a good one as Tocci gets the ball. He does lose it though. He should have played it out wide to our left back, whoever's playing there right now. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's probably quite bad actually. I should know who's my left back on the pitch right now. But we have regained possession. Tocci does lose it again. I mean, bless him, he's got no match sharpness. He's not played a game of football. He's coming back from a bad injury, so we can't expect too much from him, I suppose. Aaron looking pretty tired out there. We're going to bring Felix on for these last few moments. We'll swap him and Tocci around. Tocci can become a target man on support instead. This might change things for us. It might not. I don't know. Johannesson picks the ball up, though, as we try to come forward now in these final few moments of the game. 8 minutes left on the clock and they've won possession back. David Cameron, obviously David Cameron, clearly after not being Prime Minister for a while, he's got a bit bored and decided to play football and change his name ever so slightly so he is more attractive to foreign teams. Obviously they've just scored another goal, Seville B, so that really does put us down and out in this game. It was a bit overdue, I've got to say. They don't like playing for you on camera. I'm not sure we've actually won one on camera yet, which is a bit of a worry. No, we must have won one on camera. I'm sure we have done. In that regards, we've only won a few games on camera. It may only be the one. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but we need to work on this a little bit. Maybe it's you guys being here that the team gets shy. That must be what it is. So 2-0 loss there to Seville. It's not really. I mean, we couldn't really do too much, I suppose. For 70 minutes of the game, we did have only 10 men, so that does put us at a huge disadvantage, I've got to say. Katungo banned for one match. It was a bad tackle. Referee decision probably justified. So we'll issue a warning to the old chap. So we've got a week off before the Lorca game. Hopefully we can bounce back there. Hopefully this bloke is going to sign for us who's trying to come on loan for us, because that would really make a huge difference, I've got to say. He'd really be a big addition to the squad. Alright, Moss has just come to me saying he wants to leave the club. He doesn't think he's going to get regular first team football. And how much is he worth? First of all, he's worth £625,000, I've got to say. He's getting on a little bit. 3-star current ability, declining in his stats. We already have Varela, who is better than him. Katungo will get better than him in future as well. So I'm not adverse to selling Moster, actually, on the grounds that we've got 3 left backs. We don't need 3 left backs. Let's discuss the issue with him and say, I'm going to have to let you go. Let's arrange a transfer. And he's happy with that. Okay, he's happy, right. Let's go and offer him out. He's worth 625, but let's see if anyone bites on 700. Okay, it's gone to 750. Let's offer him out 750, see if anyone bites on that. Oh, unfortunately, we did try to sign a midfielder for like his contract, end of season contract, Troppy. However, he's gone to Sporting Gijón, big rival. So unfortunately, he's not decided to join us. He was a decent midfielder as well, I've got to say. He did have some decent stats, some decent potential as well. The potential was kind of what I was looking for, really, I've got to say. There's plenty more fish in the sea, and I'm sure we can find someone better than him as well, on a probably cheaper deal as well. He did want that kind of wage, actually, for us as well, around the £6,000 mark, so, you know, we'll get someone else better. What is good news is, though, that Anthony Lozano is now agreeing his loan deals. He's going to come into the club. We're paying a lot of money for him, I've got to say. 12k per month, and then 6k per week on his wages, so it's a lot of money. But I reckon he really could change the fortunes around of the club and really help us progress this season. No offers for Mossa. Let's ask him to speak to clubs, actually. Get a name out there. Get your name out there. Although usually when that happens, if someone does want to bid for him, the bids come through straight away, and it's not happened. So maybe we'll have to offer him out for a little bit less in a couple of days' time. I'm looking to bring in a central midfielder as well at some point over the window, either on loan or permanently. Just on the grounds that we probably need a little bit more solidity in that area. We need someone else in there to just give a bit more depth to the squad, because we do lack numbers in central midfield. And we talked about midfielder needing to come in. Inigo Ruiz de Galarreta is coming in also from Barcelona, £2,500 per week. Looks like a pretty decent player, I've got to say. We'll look at his stats and attributes in just a moment. It all gets confirmed. Here he is. He comes in. Pretty decent, I've got to say. 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential. Again, deep line playmaker, looks pretty decent. He'll probably replace Fulch, but then Fulch will just move over to that Carrillo position. So I think we'll have a stronger midfield with this guy coming in. We need to register him in the squad as well. And I think it might mean we need to take someone out. Or can we just put him in? I think we can just put him in without taking anyone out, which is pretty good. So confirm that selection. He's available for the game later on today, which is good going. So on the grounds that we lost last game, and we don't really have a proper right winger. I know Johannesson tried to play there, but he wasn't really that good. We're going to switch back to the diamond formation today. So Juan Carlos in goal once again. I think the back line's nearly the same. Varela, Carlos Hernandez, Valentini, and Johannesson comes back in right back. Fulin stays as that ball winning midfielder. Fulch moves to Carrillo because Galarreta comes in as that deep line playmaker. Aaron starts as that attacking midfielder with Tocci as a target man, and the new bloke Lorenzo up front as a complete forward, which is very exciting. We haven't really got any decent numbers to get. I mean, we've got no decent. We can only choose 16 and 17 apparently for their numbers, so that's what they have to be, 16 and 17. I mean, fair play. Bit annoying for them, I suppose, because they won't like those numbers. He wants to be number 9 as Lorenzo, or whatever he's called, so he'll be very cross with that. Right, kickoff is upon us here. We're at home today. Lorca in the orange kit. We're in the blue, obviously our blue home kit. And we're looking for a big win today. Obviously, last time out wasn't the best against Seville, although we only had 10 men for the whole game, didn't we, basically? So we can be forgiven, I suppose, for losing that and the disadvantage there. But Lozano trying to have an instant impact here, puts a cross into Aaron, and already a minute into his career at Real Oviedo, he's got himself an assist. Aaron gets the goal, and we are 1-0 up and move up to 8th in the table, apparently. I didn't realise it was that close. Move up to 8th, apparently, as things stand, although we do have a game in hand over other sides. I haven't started playing their games yet, but pretty good going, I've got to say. It's a bit of a thing. I know I say it's most episodes now, and most games probably, but it's like a bit of a theme. No highlights in the first half, but the highlights come in like the first 5 minutes, then there's literally nothing for like the rest of the first half. Not even many shots. Like the shots in the game, I mean, they've just scored a goal there, which is sort of ruined my point there of not being many highlights or goals in the middle of the half. It usually come like right at the start and then in the second half. But again, only 3 shots to 2 shots so far. Like with the Lincoln Loco save, it would be like 10 shots to 5 shots or something like that at this point. So I think there's a lot of passing around in the field in this league, which could be a good thing. But for our perspective, with the highlights that we have, it's not the best. Corner for us right before half-time though. Cleared away, but only as far as falling. He puts it back to Aaron in so much space to put a cross in. Lozano is there. He's now got a goal to add to his assist on his debut. What a debut he's having. Real Oviedo fans are going to be loving him already. So pretty positive first half there. We're on top of the stats. We're winning the game as well. So it's pretty good going. Calmly. Media giving you a lot of credit recently. Go out there, put a worthy display in the second half. We've won a lot of games recently, so the media are on our side, basically. So we need to show them that we do deserve this. And we are a decent side that are not going to be pushed over this season. Despite the early season woes, we're coming back now and we're mounting a bit of a challenge towards the playoffs now. We're still 4 points off it, of course. And actually, if other games go our way as well, we could actually end up being 7 points off it as well. So there is still a long way to go, but playoffs not out of reach, especially at this stage of the season still. Tochi has not played particularly well, so Felix is going to come on, have a chance to show what he's all about. Fulch hasn't played well either, I've got to say, so Mariga is going to come on for him. He can have a little run out today as well. There are 2 changes that we'll make right now. We may make a defensive one later on just to bring in a bit of energy into the back as the game gets to its later stages. But we've got a chance now. Once again, Aaron wings the ball in the midfield into Felix. Felix now puts the ball through to Lozano. I thought he was offside, but apparently not. So yeah, he's offside. It did go down there. He looked very, very offside. If he'd scored that goal, it would have been disallowed. In terms of highlights, it really, really has been a very, very quiet game. Not really much going on at all, which is fine by me when we're winning. Like, if we're winning a game and there's no highlights, that's fine by me. It's when we're losing and there's no highlights, that's when I get annoyed. But a highlight now, Johannesson puts into Felix, cleared though, only as far as Fulham once again. Galarreta this time getting it out to Lorenzo, into Felix, and the second assist for Lozano. What a debut he's had. Felix grabs himself another goal. He's really starting to chip away now, getting a few goals this season. He may end up getting 10 this season, which is pretty good considering that he only is like a bench warmer, really. I think he's doing pretty well for himself. But Lozano, the real star, what a signing and what an impact he's had instantly to Real Oviedo. This is like the Oviedo side that I saw when I was in between episodes and recording stuff. We really started to get a bit of momentum going and start to play nice football. Obviously, the Seville game was a bit different, but we returned to the nice bit of football that I've been seeing in between episodes today, which is very good. Oviedo 3, Lorca 1. I'm about to say 0 though. They did get the 1 goal, didn't they? Passionately, well done, lads. A very nice victory. Keep it up out there. Obviously, there's more games to play, so it may drop down the table a little bit more. But as things stand right now, as the episode finishes, we're currently 8th, which is an absolute turnaround from where we were this time last episode. Now, next episode then, I think is going to be Leonesa and Alcorcon on the grounds that I know the Spanish day for regens, like the youth intake day, is in the second half of March at some point. So Leonesa and Alcorcon are the 2 games in the second half of March. So we should see regen day around that point. So I think next episode we're going to do these 2 games. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. A big win today, a loss as well, but a big win which is superb for us. So drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I'll see you next time for some more Real Deal action.